I'm sure by now you've heard about the Algerian boxer Aman Khalif, who is competing here at the Paris Olympics. She's become the accidental face of a geopolitical and culture war saga that continues to unfold. There's a few things you need to know about this story that are much bigger than the boxer herself, even though she is the one that is suffering with all of the international headlines and stories and social media attacks that have been sent in her direction. The IBA, or the International Boxing Association, is run by a Russian man called Umar Kremlev. Now, he's decided he's going to award the Italian fighter, Angela Carini, who withdrew from her bout against Khalif after just 46 seconds, with prize money equal to that of a gold medalist. Carini is going to get $50,000. Her coach and the National Federation will get to share in another $50,000. In case you don't know, the IBA has been banned from the International Olympic Committee or the Olympic movement because of questions and a series of allegations that have continued over a period of time about their governance. As a result of that, the boxing competition here in Paris is being run by a unit set up to do so by the International Olympic Committee. When asked whether the International Olympic Committee is going to investigate whether the offer of this money was made to anybody in the Italian camp ahead of the bout against Khalif, this is what the IOC spokesperson Mark Adams had to say.
If anything about the credibility, authority of the people leading the IBA and the claims they're making, I think you first, as the President said, need to take a look online at the comments that are being made there about the IOC, about the Games, about France, and also some abusive attacks. I mean, these people have no credibility, maybe in their own minds, but they have no credibility for anybody else, so we won't pay that any attention.
At the time of Carini's withdrawal in the fight against Khalif, it set off a whole series of stories and headlines and a social media attack alleging that Khalif was a man trying to participate in women's sport. The IOC has consistently rejected that claim. But what the story did do was highlight something relating to the IBA and its World Championships back in 2023. At that time, it was probably the best result Khalif had had. She had made it into the final. It was then that the IBA decided to disqualify Khalif on the grounds that she had failed a testosterone test. That disqualification came after Khalif had beaten one of the Russians on the way through to the final. At the time, the IBA said Khalif had failed a testosterone test. This set off a frenzy of allegations that perhaps she was transgender and a man trying to participate in a woman's sport. The IBA has since confirmed that they did not administer a testosterone test to Khalif. They did say that she failed other medical tests, but they haven't explained which ones. The IOC has said that the IBA made this decision to disqualify the Algerian fighter as a unilateral decision with no actual process in place. That would seem to be confirmed by the minutes of the IBA meeting, which was held after the World Championships. Now, many journalists and a social media frenzy continue to ask why a man is able to continue competing at the Olympic Games. Again, this is an allegation that the IOC flatly refutes. Khalif is a woman, was born a woman, recognised as a woman. Her gender has never changed throughout her life, and she has been competing since 2018 with no questions raised previously, until the disqualification at the IBA World Championships. While some sports federations, notably well-known federations such as World Athletics and World Aquatics, have very stringent guidelines around testosterone levels for female competitors, the IOC's policy, which is given as a recommendation to all sports governing bodies, is built around a human rights framework and is less stringent. Right now, the IOC and presumably all other sports governing bodies are standing by to hear the final decision in a big case that was heard by the Grand Chamber of the European Court of Human Rights. And it concerns a case around Caster Semenya, this legal battle that has been ongoing for many years regarding the South African athlete. The Court of Human Rights had previously found in Semenya's favour that the Swiss government, by allowing a court of arbitration decision that supported World Athletics' position to discriminate against her in the interests of the fairness of sport, actually violated her human rights. Now think about this. Many of the sports governing bodies, including the International Olympic Committee, are housed in Switzerland. So when this decision came through from the Court of Human Rights, the Swiss government then appealed it to the full chamber. That is the decision that everybody is now waiting on, because depending on what this grand chamber finds, it may impact all sorts of sports policies going forward.